I don't know why I keep falling off this makeup horse all the time, but it's been an embarrassingly long time since I did a review roundup where I ranked the products that I have been trying out after finally making up my mind about them from least favorite, and I have quite a few products that I do not recommend, and then we'll work my way all the way up to my new holy grails. And I checked when I had my last video and it was in March. March! What's wrong with me? Don't open that door. So we are going to start at the very bottom. I tried to organize this into avoid, to meh, to really good, to absolute favorites. Although that's a little harsh. Maybe not all the products in this are like awful, but they're not great. Let's start with some products that I actually just think are like faulty quality, and then we'll just work our way into some things that I don't think are working as described, and then we will just work our way into like preference things. Because let me start with a thing where I'm like, you don't need to buy this. This is from Polite Society. This is the Club Tropicana Blurring Bronzer. I think maybe this is in the shade Club Tropicana, which I think is their medium. I got sent all 4 of these in PR ahead of launch. And oh yeah, I had to have a sip of drink in between. These, let me put this in aside, reek. With that being said, have I put these on my face quite a few times? Yes. You stay over there. I don't know what's up with this formulation. They smell so bad. They make your brushes smell bad. They smell like fermented crayons. They smell like they've already turned, which I think is weird because this is a new product that's new to the brand. It is a bouncy, almost like a putty bronzer. It looks beautiful on the skin, but you smell like fermented crayons, and all of mine came like that. And either the formulation needs a little perfume, something, or maybe a little preservatives. I don't know which one, but I just would not recommend this one unless you can go in store and smell the one you're buying yourself, because like I said, all 4 of mine came reeking, and I just let's not do that. The other thing where I'm like, I'm sure this is a great product, but this packaging is faulty. This is the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Setting Spray. It's one of those that you like, there's some kind of like almost powder in here that you mix in, and it's supposed to set your makeup and make it last longer and mattify, and that's all fine and dandy, but this one is a squirter, huh? So unless you want to be like Dalmatian makeup where you have just water droplets all over your face, I just don't think the spritzer on this one is the best one. And there are so many good, especially in 2025, where literally every brand and their grandma is releasing a setting spray. I just think that this packaging needs a little tweaking. The next thing that I really didn't like, and again, this is maybe a petty thing, this is from Pixi. This is, I think it's a matte lip balm. And I've been using this, but it tastes like medicine, not the good kind. Is there a good kind? I don't know. It doesn't taste like kids' medicine, okay? This is grown-up medicine. And it looks like almost nothing on the lips. I like the idea of a matte balm. It looks pretty nice. Just the taste is just not it. So for that reason, I would never wear something like a lip balm where I'm supposed to keep it in my purse and reapply several times a day, and it tastes like that. No. Life is too short for that. The next one, and this pains me because I love promoting indie brands, but if it's one thing I'm gonna do on my channel is keep it 100% real, and I really don't think the formulation of the What's Up powders are good. Hear me out. I have oily combo skin. I'm 41 years old. I definitely need to set my concealer. Otherwise, it's going to be crease city within a really short amount of time. And I've tried these powders for quite some time. I've even tried them longer than I usually try. Usually I try a product for between 3 to 5 weeks. Then I've like made up my mind. They go into the pile of makeup that I made up my mind. These I've tried for way longer because I couldn't really put my finger on what I don't like about these. These do not keep me matte, and they don't set down my concealer. So for me, these serve no purpose. So when I try and set down my concealer with this, it creases within, I'm not even kidding you, 5 minutes. It's like I didn't put any powder on at all. When I try to set my T-zone with this, I get oily again within an hour. It doesn't. The only thing I think this does is that it blurs if you put on a sheer layer all over your face, but that only works if you also don't need it to mattify. I love when indie brands are trying new things and releasing new things, but this one just doesn't do what I need a powder to do. I need my powder to set my makeup and to keep me matte, and this one does neither of that. I am okay with the powder doing one of the two. We'll talk about one of those powders in a bit, but this does neither of those two, and then it's just like an extra step that I just really don't need. Now we're gonna get into a product. I even got a comment. I love doing those videos, and if you haven't seen it quite recently, I'm putting that in like air quotes. Recently I did a video which was like reacting to your hot takes, and one of you said that you thought that it was unfair that the Merit lip liners did not get as much flack as the Rhode lip liners. I actually dislike the Merit one way more than the Rhode one. And with that being said, I don't even like the Rhode one, although I'm wearing it today. We'll talk about that in a bit. This is the sheer lip liner from Merit. And I'm sorry, but you do not get to tell me that this is not a colored balm lipstick in a slim lip liner formula. It is just so glossy. It is like it's like a gloss stick almost. I mean, not as much as like a Tarte Maracuja, you know, the goopy ones, but there are sheer glowy lipsticks out there with this formula. This is like the LH Cosmetics Fantastics, but in the it's like, when do I need this? It accentuates your lip line in a weird way where it makes it look even like, people say this is a lip liner for people who don't like lip liners. Listen, I hear you. But I honestly think that at that point, this is just an extra step. The lip liners for me is to accentuate my lip line because I have a blurred lip line, or to overline a little bit if you want to do that, or to first and foremost to keep whatever you put on your lips and not bleeding all over your face. And if you don't have a problem with this, congratulations, you are younger than me. This doesn't do any of that. It accentuates my lip line in a negative way. I cannot overline with this because it is shiny, and it doesn't keep my lipstick inside my lips. The only way I can use this is together with another lip liner as an all over lipstick. And at that point, why is it so slim? That's what she said. But like, I just don't understand this product at all. This is an extra step that I quite honestly think we are just glorifying because it's Merit. And I love a lot of Merit products, but sometimes I feel like they're trying to, with other words, guess their products to be like, this is for people who don't like lip liners. Honestly, just don't spend money on this. If you don't like lip liners, this isn't a lip liner. It's called lip liner, but just buy a lip balm. Just buy a lip balm. I said what I said. I said what I said. There's another product here that I feel exactly the same as the Pixie one, but this one I like the formula more of, and this is the glosses from Simply Posh. These are so beautiful, but they have a really weird taste. I love this like milky, almost opaque, kind of like neutral like glosses. They have different colors. This is a lighter one. This one is in Let It Snow. Beautiful, but the taste is really not it. They taste like medicine, and I just think that for lip products, that's such an important. They don't need to taste like anything, but just make them taste like nothing. I can't have them tasting like medicine or like you accidentally spray yourself with hairspray in your mouth. Did not like the taste. That's for me. That's a pet peeve with lip products. If they taste bad, it's an automatic no for me. Let's actually talk about, okay, I feel bad because I have a friend who really, really loves these. These are like the glowy blushes, highlighters from Profusion. For me, these just go on patchy on my skin. They dry down too quickly, so I am not able to blend them out so they look evenly on the skin. They're a very affordable formula, and I do think that if you are very much balling on the budget, you're shopping makeup at Walmart, maybe try this one out if you're looking for a glowy blush highlighter hybrid. Sure, it's affordable, but just know this one does dry down extremely quickly. You cannot use this on a set base. Even the smallest amount of powder blush, it will be impossible to blend out, and you need to work fast. So one cheek and then blend it out. I just think it's too much hassle. I'll talk about another glowy cheek product that's affordable that I like much more than that one. I also don't get the point of these. These are the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dew Flush. Again, look at me. I'm a clown. I don't wear skincare that's colored like this. Smells beautiful. And I love Glow Recipe. My skin loves Glow Recipe. But this is like a serum that you're supposed to use only on your cheeks as a blush. It's too watery and too sheer to actually be used as a blush, according to me, on top of makeup. And again, there are so many better formulas. If you're looking for a liquid blush, this isn't it. If you actually are the kind of person who don't wear makeup and you actually look for something that's just a very sheer, glowy cheek and you don't wear a lick of makeup on your skin, sure. But if you wear makeup, if you put this on top of makeup, the skincare benefits are gone, out the window. They left the chat, okay? They're no longer with us in this room right now. So for me, this is just a too liquidy, too sheer blush that keeps just disrupting whatever I have on under. If I turn into a person who does brows, a little blush on the cheeks and nothing else, sure. But I don't see that happening. It's been 41 years and I don't see that happening before this one expires. Whew, I have so many products. I need to pick up the pace a little bit because otherwise we are going to be here all day. These are the liquid blushes from Simply Posh. These are very pigmented. On me, I do feel like they're almost like, I need a little bit more sheerness to my blushes so that they melt in easier to my skin tone. I think that these colors that they release will probably work better if you have this undertone, a cooler undertone. Because they are so opaque and they don't let a lot of your skin through. When I have a more golden undertone, all these blushes that were a little bit more on the cooler side, they ended up just looking like a little weird on me because they weren't letting my own skin through. I also will say, oh my god, I have so much hairs everywhere. Ooh. This is the new mascara from Armani. It's a really cool packaging. It's a really cool brush, but I think the formula is too dry straight out of the gate. But if you love a formula that's dry already starting out, this might be for you. The brush is really amazing, but I need something that gives up a little bit more product on the lash to really be like my favorite blush. I've also been trying out, and this is also something that I've been trying way longer than a lot of other things that I review, and it's because I couldn't make up my mind about it. This is the new skin tint from Makeup Forever. This one is a little bit almost jelly, tacky in texture, and I feel like this one is a little bit too dewy for my liking. I do think that this is meant to be a dewy moisture boosting skin tint. Yeah, so if you have dry skin, and this is a sheer to light coverage skin tint that looks beautiful on the skin, but it's just too dewy for someone who has an oily T-zone like me. So I get very oily in my T-zone within the first 3 hours, and it's just something that I need to babysit. It doesn't turn into like porridge on my skin and break up, but it's still way too dewy for someone who doesn't have dry skin. So if you're looking for a more moisturizing skin tint, it's really nice, but maybe not if you're trying to be a little bit more matte. And it is the same with these pocket blushes by Rhode. I got it in Freckle, which is a beautiful color. The packaging is a little questionable, but the color is beautiful. This is like tawny, rosy beige. It's stunning. It is way too dewy for me. It stays dewy on the skin, not necessarily sticky, but like dewy on the skin. That's not my preferred blush formula personally, so this isn't for me. But if you like something, a cheek formula that stays dewy on your skin, maybe these are for you. But if you're like me and you need something that at least somewhat dries down, I wouldn't recommend that formula. Let's talk about and I just tried this one stick from NARS, and this is the eyeshadow sticks that they just released. This is the shimmery version in Hustle. What I will say about this one, this is more of a classic shimmer. If you're looking for a high intensity, glimmer, sparkle, metallic foil, that's not what this is. This is more of a traditional shimmer on the lid. If you're looking for something, it was very easy to blend out. It wore really beautiful throughout the day, but don't expect anything special from these from NARS. They're just a little bit more pedestrian. Now let's get into, again, what I have on my lips, and these are the lip liners by Rhode. Like I said, you can see I like these more than I like the Merit ones. They are a little bit sheeny on the lips, but not to the point. They look a little bit more like a comfort matte than they look a gloss. This one looks glossy on the lips, according to me. These also have a bigger tip. This is the one that I'm wearing today. It is in the shade Balance. I have it all over my lips. So this have a bigger tip, so you can fill out your entire lips if you want to. It's very easy to blur and smudge. Will these last on your lips? No, but they will last longer than the Merit ones for sure. I can definitely see this one. I can see someone who doesn't like lip liner but wants to try some. This one I can see because you can blur it out a little bit and it's not so sharp if that's what you're looking for. They don't have the longest longevity for sure. They're not going to be my favorite lip liner, but I can appreciate them as an all-over lip color because they're actually kind of comfortable and they don't wipe off nearly as easy as these. These, wind will wipe those off. Okay, let's move into some products that I enjoy them, I've enjoyed using them, but they haven't become like an absolute favorite of mine. First one being the new Lawless foundation. Forget the filler foundation. This is a natural finish, full coverage foundation that is said to be weightless. On me, again, oily combo skin, I do feel like it becomes a little heavy on the skin when my oil starts seeping through. This is not oil controlling on my skin, and I do feel like it becomes a little heavy. Personally, I prefer another foundation that I'm going to talk about in a bit, and I also prefer the ABH foundation over this one, or the One Size foundation over this one. I think that this one is probably, if you're looking for a full coverage natural matte foundation and you don't have oily skin, maybe this one could be for you, but personally, it's not my favorite. I also will say, I was using this when I didn't have a tan, and it is 3F. It is like a fair shade. I think this is too dark to be called a fair shade. And right now I'm using 11 medium, which again, I think is a little bit too light to be called a medium. So the shade range has me a little bit confused. Also, this one is said to be a golden, but it is very golden. That could just be a preference, but it's just something I noticed as well while I was looking through the range, swatching some of them once in store and wearing two of the different shades, that it's not necessarily what I usually go for when it comes to shade range. This is just something that I don't reach for a lot, and this is the liquid highlighter from the Dexter collab that Lethal Cosmetics did. This is just a it's a blue purple duochrome sparkly liquid highlighter, which quite honestly is really cool and high quality, just not something that I use a lot. I bought the ABH Contour in Shadow, which I think is the second shade. And I'm actually using a little bit of this today with a bronzer on top. And I think it's fine, but I don't think this is the most emollient, easy to blend formula that ABH has ever done. I've been trying it out a couple of different ways and I can definitely make it work, but I also think that it very easily can start lifting your foundation. I think it's cool to have like these kind of contours, and I think that this one is a really smart color as well because it pulls gray on me, someone with a golden undertone, and I think it's smarter to have like an in-between taupey shade like this that works on several different undertones. I just don't love the formula. Let me actually put all of the Mob Beauty lip products here together. This is the lip liner. I have it in M1990, which is a super sexy name for a lip liner. This is like the sample names that they send you from the factories when they're doing samples, and trust me, I know that's literally, I think I have samples over here called that. I think the lip liner comes in two colors. That's why I'm putting it here. This is a nice formula, but why do we have two colors? The lip formulas, I have one that's a balm and one that's a matte lipstick. This might be the matte lipstick, or is this the balm? I'm not 100% sure. I like the formula. I hate the names and I don't like the packaging. This is the balm. The other one was the matte. And I'm just like, I understand this like paper packaging thing, but if you put this in your purse for a bit and it's scrambling around, this is gonna look rough. It's gonna look like you found it on the floor after a wild night out. Like, you don't want that. So I understand the packaging, even from a price point. I'm sure this packaging is more affordable. I just don't like it. I don't like the naming. There's some things where I'm like, I don't love the whole thing about it. I also am still trying out the cream products from, I haven't made up my mind. I like the formula of these. I just would want some tweaks to it. This one, like, why is it two colors? At least it was when I bought it. I love the packaging of this. This is a NARS Hot Escape Cheek Palette 2. These are 4 different shades in a cheek palette. I don't use cheek palettes a lot, but quite honestly, this probably would travel really well. For me, none of these shades are perfect for me, and I feel like they look good on the skin, but like they're not blowing my socks off. None of these formulas are better than other things that I have as singles. So it just makes it a little hard to be excited about, except the packaging. Is that the plastic? Except the packaging. The packaging is like 12 out of 10. The formula is like, it's good. This is good formulations. And if you look at these colors and you're like, wow, that's perfect for me. There's nothing wrong with it. But I'm just not blown away. And There are some cheek palettes that I have where I'm like, oh, this is so good. And I do travel with them at times. Looking at you, the Charlotte Tilbury. I have a something Gassum. Something is always Gassum with her. That cheek palette is beautiful. This one it's fine. Again, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not like, oh, this is so amazing. And I feel the same about this Tarsh. I need a lunch break. This is the Tarte Blush Tape. This is the shimmery version. Honestly, enough with the poofs already. Like, I'm done with this. The formula is pretty good, but I'm just like, Tarte, give it to Tarte to literally just drive a trend into the ground. Click Sticks, the Maracuja Juicy Lip Product, the poofs, stop it. We need an intervention. I just can't deal with it anymore. I'm gonna put these here on the same position for the. Oh, you're gonna gasp when you see this, but it's for the same reason. But also understand that the price difference is quite steep. Makeup Revolution and I heard you gasping, and NARS lip oils. These are fine formulas. Really beautiful on the lips. Honestly, if you're looking for something what I'm gonna describe right now, get the Makeup Revolution ones. The packaging is not as nice, but they taste perfectly fine. These smell beautiful. Every one of these lip oils smells like the fruit they're named after. This is cherry. The one reason why they're not my favorite, they're a little bit too thin and a little bit too just a classic oil on the lips, and I need something that's a little bit more substantial. Personal preference. Let me also mention the lip glosses from the Dexter. I keep want to say Dexter's Laboratory. Somebody needs to do a Dexter's Laboratory collection. Somebody needs to do that. But this is the Dexter and Lethal Cosmetics collab. And these are the glosses that they did. These are like shimmery glosses in two really interesting colors. Again, there's nothing wrong with these. They're really nice glosses. But it's not my favorite. And I also don't use like sparkly glosses that much. I also bought the lip balm from Isamaya. I bought this one during the Sephora sale. This is a perfectly fine lip balm. I've used it. It's nice. Not my favorite formula. I wish it was almost like a little bit more glossy on the lips or a little bit more like substantial on the lip. But again, I've had it in my purse. I think it's perfectly fine. Again, I'm just not blown away. I don't know what I was expecting, but I guess I was expecting a little bit more. Call me high maintenance. Now we're getting into that powder that I said this isn't perfect, but at least it's doing one of the jobs good. And this is the Givenchy Prism Libre pressed powder that they released. I have it in the shade, oh, smell it, number 3. This is very fragrant. Let me tell you that right now. This is department store flowers. You know what I'm talking about. We all know what I'm talking about. This one sets my under eyes beautifully. Does not keep me matte. I cannot use this in my T-zone, but as an under eye powder is beautiful. Will I repurchase knowing that it smells like fragranced potpourri? No. But it does a really good job under the eyes. The smell and the fact that it doesn't keep me matte. So again, I need something that's a little bit more versatile than what that one is. I also have the Estee Lauder Double Wear Concealer that they released a while ago. And I actually think that this concealer is really good, but it is a little bit too heavy under that. I have very thin skin under the eyes and a lot of fine lines. And when the concealer becomes just a little bit too heavy, I get that heavy look, I get the creased look. So I need something that's a little bit lighter than this. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. But I compare this, I wore this side by side with the Lancome one that I love so much. And the Lancome side just looked lighter, fresher, younger. It just looked better. So if you are choosing and trying to get like a high-end concealer, I would go with the Lancome one instead. I've mentioned that in a bunch of different videos. This is the Nessa Myricks, what are these called? There's something Yummy Skin Balms, and this is the Radiant one that she came up with. It looks like I haven't used it at all, but you really do not need a lot. I'm actually wearing this today under my foundation. This is a mattifying, smoothing putty primer with a glow. So this is for you, that's like me, you want to get a glowy face, but you want to stay matte. This has Absolite in it. It will keep you matte. This is perfect. This is what I've been using when I want to have a glowy face. I want to use a skin tint, but I just don't want to be greasy, oily. There's a difference between being dewy, fresh, and glowy and just being straight up greasy. Why are you not in the shower? And this is real nice. I like it. Again, if you're looking for something that's an easy breezy out the door, these with color on them is something that I travel with a lot. They're fantastic. They're like a mattifying primer, sheer skin tint all in one. I love them. And these are the Glaminatrix Cream and Powder Blush Duo. I have it here in Muted Mocha. Mocha? Me not being able to pronounce a word. I think these are stunning. These are so beautiful on the cheeks. These do dry down. They work really beautiful together. This has a really nice sheen to it. It is not like highlighty, but it's definitely like sheeny. It has something to it. I just think it's really, really beautiful, and I enjoy this color a lot as well. It's just this really nice nudie blush. I've been really into, I don't know, I've been really into, I say today as I'm wearing pink cheeks, but been really into like more nudie blushes as of late. And this one I've used quite a lot. Another shade that I've used a lot is that nudie one that I've used from Morphe. Love that one, but I didn't want to review that yet because I haven't used any of the other colors. This is a highlighter that came out from DUDS Signature. This is a Dazzling Bronze highlighter. This is a really pretty, like, again, it has that almost like pinky, nudie, you like swirl these together. Really pretty on the skin. It's a very highlighty formula. So if you're into like a very intense highlighter, these are really beautiful. I also like that you can go a little lighter, you can go a little darker, depending on your skin tone. I really like DUDS Signature. She's been releasing some really like rad things this year. This is supposed to be over here. I have my singles from Half Magic in this palette. I did get sent these as PR. I will mark everything down below, whether or not it's PR or not. These are the single shadows from Half Magic. I will put up some swatches of these because I did swatch them. They are very beautiful. Not like multi-chromes, but they're definitely like super sparkly duochromes that you can buy at Ulta. And I feel like this is giving you a taste of either very high-end or indie brands, but at a slightly more approachable price tag at Ulta. Do I love that there are singles like this? They come in a little compartment that you can keep them in. It's like a recyclable one. That's perfectly fine. I would want Half Magic to come out with quads. I feel like they would kill quads. 2 sparkly shadows like that and 2 mattes. Even like a matte, like a cream to powder and then a matte powder. Like that would be so cool. I really think that they would kill that, and I feel like people love, like mainstream market, like really love small things like that. The single thing is throwing me off. I really enjoy the new matte bouncy blushes by Rare Beauty. These are really, really stunning. This is in Grateful. I've also been using, off camera, I've been using Worthy as well, which is more like almost like a terracotta brown. These have a bouncy, putty feel to them, but they still work with even like a flimsy, because I love using, I did a blush brush with my own brand, which is an F06. It's a more like flimsy blush brush, but that works perfectly with these. Gives you that little like airbrushed look. And for me, I never go for a matte blush. I always want a little sheen to it, but I will say I am very impressed with this formula and the way that even though it is a little bit more bouncy, creamy, putty, it still works with so many different tools. This is the Tarte Creaseless Setting Powder. I have it in translucent, which like is this white one. I will say I think this is a really good powder. The only reason why this isn't on top is because I actually prefer my powders to have a little bit of pigmentation to it. That's why my recent favorite has been what I've been using today is the one from Glamlight, because that one has a little pigmentation to it and I think that is really beautiful. But this one does set your makeup. It looks totally flawless on the skin, and it definitely gives you that airy, blurry, non-cakey look. So if you're looking for something very lightweight on the skin, I do think that powder is honestly quite good. This is the concealer that I'm wearing today, and I did not think I was gonna like this as much as I do. And part of me is almost like, this almost deserves to be higher up, because this is the Shape Tape Blur Concealer. I have this under my eyes today, and I thought this was going to be way too heavy for me. Way too heavy for me because it is a stick concealer. But you know what? It works beautiful under my eyes and to like just brighten up. And I gotta say, I even was thinking about that today because I have this one in, oh, that is a really hard shade name to read. light neutral. I was thinking today I should get this one in a darker shade for traveling to just use, because when I've been traveling, I love doing this kind of makeup. When I'm home, I go to Target in this kind of makeup. I'm literally going to an event later today. I'm going out and about in this makeup. I love wearing colorful makeup. Like, I don't wash off my makeup after I start filming. But when I'm traveling, I'm usually more in my travel like mode, and I don't want to spend my travel time doing my makeup. And I've been really into like concealer and out the door, and I feel like this would be the perfect concealer and out the door product. So I am thinking about getting this in a second shade. Honestly, now that I think of it, it probably should have been ranked even higher, because I really do enjoy this one. I think that the only problem with this one is that, again, it's really hard to build on a little bit more, because if you're the kind of person who wants to add on even more concealer, maybe then it will be a little like chunky because it is a stick. But if you're just doing a kind of a sheer layer concealer like I do, I actually really enjoy it. Maybe it's the lack of versatility with the cream stick that takes it down a little bit, but overall I think it's beautiful. These are the lip tints by Lethal Cosmetics that they did with the Dexter collab, and they smell like nothing, and they are really cool lip tints. You can see this one is like almost like a burgundy, like Bordeaux purple, and then you have this one that turns into this like almost, you can see like an orangey red. These are really, really cool. And if you're looking for a slightly more affordable lip liner, because I know that there are some high-end brands that are really out here charging a lot for a lip tint, if I'm going to be honest, because this is lip stain. So if you're looking for a lip stain that's a little bit more, maybe even from an indie brand, I do think that these are really cool, and they stain a lot. Okay, I have two highlighters here, and I was thinking in my head, I'm gonna put the Sephora one first. This is much more affordable than the next one I'm gonna talk about. So keep that in mind. If you're balling on a budget, definitely this one over the Dior one. It is a beautiful highlighter from Sephora brand. It's absolutely stunning on the skin. It really is a beautiful highlighter. But let's be honest, I do prefer on the skin. If I get to choose between the two and I don't get to worry about price, the one from Dior is even better. This one is in the shade Gold Halo, and this one is in the shade Glitzy Gold. So if you're balling on budget, get the Sephora brand. But if you have been thinking about this one, I can tell you right now, this is a stunning formula. Absolutely beautiful. I tried the liquid highlighter from Dior last year, and I was blown away by how beautiful it is, and the powder formula is no different. I also have the House Lab, this is their cream highlighter. I have mine in the shade Glassy Champagne Quartz. Let me tell you, when I put this on, I had this full moment in the video. I put this on in the video where I was trying it first. I was like, this is sticky, I hate it. It dries down, but it still looks wet. There is something about this balm formula. It dries down, but it still looks wet, so that actually with time, I can touch my cheeks and it doesn't feel sticky. I'm telling you, when I put this on and I felt my cheeks and how sticky they were, I was like, oh no, I'm gonna hate this product. But then I gave it a couple of minutes, I touched my cheeks again, and I was like, it dried down and it still looked glossy like a balm. I'm very impressed with this formula. Like, I am very, very impressed with this formula. I really like it. So if you're like me and you want something that looks glassy glossy on the skin, but you don't want it to feel glassy glossy, that might be for you too. Next one is something that I've been using as of late, and it looks like I haven't used that much, but you also don't need that much. And this is from the drugstore, and this is the Maybelline Grippy Serum Primer. And this is a grip primer in a serum, like a little dropper. And I gotta tell you, this is a very good product. It is super grippy on the skin, very easy to like blend out. It is from the drugstore, and I think that this is a really good gripping primer. It does what it's supposed to do. It's from the drugstore. I actually like the serum like feel of it, and I think that that is a beautiful product. I actually use gripping products quite a lot. This is the new cream bronzer by Morphe. I have mine in Sudden Heat Ignite. I think the name of the product is Sudden Heat, and I have it in Ignite. So this is the second to lightest one, and I gotta tell you, these are beautiful. First time I used it, I tried going in on the skin straight away, and I can already tell, I'm like, this isn't gonna work. But then I used it once and then went in again. It seemed like there was almost like you had to break the seal basically, and now I can draw it on my skin and blend it out. I think this is a really good cream bronzer formula. It slightly reminds me of the formulation of the Too Faced bronzer sticks without the delicious smell. But I feel like it's somewhere in that neighborhood where you can draw it on the skin, but also works really good if you take the brush on the stick. It is pigmented but blendable, so I really like these. Again, Morphe, something happened when they changed owners, and like, because they're under new owners, new ownership, the products that they've been releasing, I'm just waiting for them to release like a really good skin tint. Okay, you guys, we are in the top 10 products that I am just really impressed with, that I just think are absolutely beautiful. Of course, these are going to come with a little bit of preference. Like I said, I like a really glowy, glassy, very, I don't want to say like, I like a beaming, glassy cheek. My friend Amanda always calls it a sweaty cheek. So keep that in mind when you're seeing some of these products. The next thing I am going to talk about is the Unearthly blushes. These are the incandescent glowing blushes. And when there are glowing blushes, these are definitely more on the satin side rather than like a more glowy side. But I still think they're really beautiful on the skin. I did swatch all of these and I've been wearing quite a few of these shades. And they are this really like sheer but still super buildable formula that looks really like sheeny on the skin. Almost like if you put on like a cream formula that dries down. If you're used to my formula from Cinch Beauty, that one has a little bit more sheen to it. I think this is a beautiful formula. I think they did really good with this one. I've been really into this product by Rhode, and this is not the product that I thought I was going to really like. And this is the Peptide Lip Tint. I have it in, I have smuts on it. I have it in Toast, and I really enjoy this one. It looks so juicy on the lips. Oh, it looks so beautiful on the lips. It's absolutely borderline stunning. It feels wonderful on the lips. I feel like it is nourishing. And I will tell you, every time I wear this, either in videos or in real life, I get compliments and I get people asking what I'm wearing. So there's something about this that it's just, people are like, I want to have that effect on my lips too. I kind of want to get another color. I really like it. I've heard from you and also from other creators that their absolute favorite formula is the one from Ole Henriksen. So maybe that's something I need to look into as well. Let me know which one is your favorite, but I prefer this one over the, I was going to say Sunday Riley. That's not what I mean. Summer Fridays. I actually prefer this one over Summer Fridays. Next one is actually going to be something from Makeup Revolution, and these are their cheek trios that they've released. The only thing that's keeping me from putting these even higher up, because I think they're gorgeous on the skin, is this packaging. This packaging is giving Wet n Wild, and nobody wants that feeling. They have a low lid. It's like cream underneath. It's a cream blush, a powder blush, and a very glowy highlighter with a little bit of base color. You can see there is some peach to this. This one, blinding, beautiful, so pretty. You can use all of them together. You can use each of them by themselves. I think they're beautiful. This one is in Authentic Peach. And I've also been loving the one that's Aura Points Rose. You can see here especially, it has that like almost mauve with the gold duochrome like blush. Oh, these are stunning. Again, I wish the packaging wasn't whatever this is, but I gotta say the formulation of these, stunning. If you've been wanting to try some kind of like blush trios like these, either these from Makeup Revolution or the ones from Morphe, they're really nice. I also absolutely am in love with this one from Sephora brand. This is the Colorful Blush Glaze, and I have it in Sunrise, which is this like icy peach. This is a beautiful hybrid between a blush and a highlight. It's so pretty. And every time I go into Sephora, I swatch and I'm like, oh, I should get this in another color. But Lord knows, I need a new blush, like I need a hole in my head. So I've been really trying to keep myself from buying it. But let me tell you, all the colors look amazing. This is a little bit almost like a thicker formula, but it's like one of the most beautiful blush highlighter hybrids. It's a very glowy cheek that I've seen. I'm very impressed with these. And they're a Sephora brand. I've only been wearing these for a little while, but I am extremely impressed. These are the new, I don't know if these are new, but these are from NARS. These are the new colors at least. Oh gosh, that is really small. I don't know what this is. This is a that text is the smallest text I've ever seen in my life, but these are the lip glosses from NARS. So let me see if I can just like Google the name. I did do swatches of these. And I will say, like, I did a swatch reel. Oh my gosh, they're so pretty. They're so comfortable. They are long wearing without being goopy. And I'm just so impressed with these. These new colors, the new 5 that they came out with, I think this is an existing formula. All of these colors, perfection. They're amazing, interesting neutrals with just great undertones. I love how they feel. I love how they look. This is one of the best lip gloss formulas I've ever seen in my life. Let me see if I can see what they're actually called, because clearly I'm making no sense. Okay, so this is the Afterglow Lip Shine Gloss from NARS. I've never tried this formula before. They sent me the new colors and I am in love. Like I said, one of the best lip gloss formulas I've ever tried. Love the packaging, love the applicator, love how they feel on the lips and how they last. And these new colors, all of them, 12 out of 10. I've also been extremely impressed with this new, again, I've been taking my really sweet time reviewing this one. This is the MAC Studio Fix Fluid Matte Foundation. This is with oil control. This is what I have on my skin today. I do not have a mattifying primer on today. It is just a foundation. And as you can see, it's not looking flat, but it's definitely not looking oily. I mean, this is clearly me adding on like glow, but it's like, it's not looking flat, but I'm not looking oily. And I have been filming for quite some hours, sitting in these lights, just marinating in these lights. And I will say, very impressed with this. It's a very liquidy serum-like foundation. Goes on thin, but still gives you what I like to call an editorial full coverage, which is a full coverage where you still can see some things through. It is just really, really beautiful and keeps me matte, but not flat. And the longevity is beautiful. I think it looks great. I think it looks great. I think it's beautiful. I have been thinking, is MAC back? I feel like MAC is back. Another thing that I've been extremely impressed with, but I need to put a caveat for this one. This is the Hoola Wave from Benefit. I bought this one. Oh, you can see how much I've used it. I bought this one, I don't know when, but I've been traveling with this one. I have traveled with this and only brought this as my only bronzer. This is a cream bronzer that's a little bit more stiff. So this is not super emollient, but it goes on sheerly and it looks so incredible. I did almost say that this reminds me a little bit of the Merit Bronze Stick in a way where it's like a little bit more stiff, a little bit more sheer. You almost can't make a mistake with it because it is a little bit more sheer. And I just stipple it on and blend it in and it looks so believable. I've been absolutely in love with this one. If you want to try a cream bronzer but you're afraid it's going to be too opaque, Looking at You LYS cream bronzer, that one was insane. This one is more of a sheer formula and I really, really like it. I have mine in the shade medium. I'm looking at my top 3 now and all of them are affordable. I feel very happy about that. Like I said, this is the return of Morphe and their concealer is so good. This is such a good concealer. I really like it. I have the corrector here. I have mine in Peach 02. I actually have a little bit of this on today. It is very light. It's like, again, this concealer formula, it is like light and not too thick, but it's also not watery. It does give coverage. You can add on a little bit more if you want to, but it does not crease. It does not crease on me. It doesn't look super heavy on me. I've really been enjoying this concealer and I've enjoyed it so much. And I think that that's why it took me so long to review it, because I'm like, wait, am I loving a complexion product by Morphe this much? But I do. If you're looking for a new concealer, you're shopping at the drugstore, maybe give this one a try. They have correctors, they have concealers, the shade range is pretty wide. But then my top 2 products are actually both from ColourPop, and I feel a little good about that because I have loved ColourPop since literally 2015. I remember in 2014 wanting to buy their Super Shock shadows, not being able to because they only shipped within the US. And I remember me and my friend were like, how are we gonna get a hold of these Super Shock shadows? I remember it before I started my YouTube channel. And I feel like they're a little bit in their flop era, and I feel like they release good products, but I feel like their palettes are a little bit in the flop era. Maybe I should say, not the brand, but their palettes. But I gotta say, this liquid highlighter that they released, I really enjoy it. with a little bit of a caveat again. This pink one is way too sparkly for my liking. This pink one that is called Pink Pony, this is a sparkly pink. You have been warned. This is a sparkly pink. I'm just letting you know. The other 3 shades I don't feel are sparkly at all. These 2 are the ones from the Tangled collection, and this is one of the ones from the original collection. I did actually buy these 2 myself, and these 2 I got sent as PR. I think they're beautiful. And you know what? This is my favorite color. Let me put that one away. This is the one in I See the Light. This peach to pink. And I was thinking, I'm like, where have I seen this before? Where have I seen this before? You know where I've seen? This is where we're gonna see how long, question, how long have you been on my channel? Have you been on my channel this long? Have you been on my channel since the ColourPop and Disney Villains and my obsession with the Hades highlighter? This, same color. Shut the front door. I'm gonna try and see if I can do a reel. I keep this for memories. I'm not using this one. But this is also a pink to a gold. You can see here, pink to a gold. And I knew it. I knew it when I was using this one, obsessing with this one, traveling with this one, convincing myself to use other things than this one. I was like, I've seen this before. I've seen this before. I was obsessing over this highlighter for like 2 years straight on YouTube. Like, loved it. And they brought the color back in a liquid formula. And I never say run, don't walk. But if you also love this one and you miss it, I'm just saying. I will film a reel comparing them. I will put makeup that is clearly not good any longer, because that one came out in a long time ago. I will do it for science. My absolute favorite product of like this past time, the ColourPop, like the liquid blushes with the pearl. Shut the front door. Shut the front door, shut all the doors, all the windows, climbed in through the chimney. I love these. I love them so much. They sent me the entire PR package, and then they sent me a second one. So I brought the second one to Destin with my friends, and I told people like, listen, take one, please. You need to try this amazing formula. I actually only kept 2 though, because I was like, I need to be smart. I can't keep all of them. So I have City Walk, which is again, this beautiful, like tawny, like beigey with a sheen. And then it is the peachy one that is a perfect peach. That is a peach with like a more golden sheen. This one has a little bit more of a cool tone sheen, and this one has a little bit more of a golden sheen. I love these so much. I love these so much, and I want ColourPop to make even more shades. I say as someone who has only saved 2, but I'm just like, the potential of these, they are so good. They are so beautiful, and I can already tell you right now, these will be in my favorite of 2025. They really are that good. I told you first time I tried these, I was like, I think I've just found my new favorite product from ColourPop. And I think with this color and it is game over for all y'all. And these were my products. I have literally been trying, I mean, that's what I do for a living. I try on makeup every day just to make sure that if you were in the market for new products, that you get the best of the best, or at least that you're able to make an informed decision of the things that are out on the market to choose from. Let me know what you think about these products. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Remember, it is okay to disagree about colored powder. At the end of the day, it is not that deep. And if you were interested in any of these things, they're going to be either in YouTube shopping, that's on the screen, and you can click on it and it pops up and you can find them, or it's down in the description box. My links are affiliated, and if you do shop through my links, thank you so much for supporting my channel. It really does help out. I hope you're having an amazing day. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you soon in a new video.